All right, welcome back. Now, I'm currently on my original channel, and I wanted to point out that I believe we'll see, but I believe this channel, along with my other channel, I believe they're going to age well. They're going to age well. I look far into the future, and I'm pointing this out because I remember thinking this to myself when I made this channel some 8 years ago. I said, you know what? Many of these victims who were attacked when they were very young, at that time when they were attacked, they were extremely confused and they had a lot of questions about, why aren't dogs taken more seriously? I could have been killed, or I've been permanently injured. These people have to live with deformities and scars for the rest of their life. So it's going to be a constant reminder for the rest of their life. So they're always going to be mindful of the threat that dogs pose to society. And whenever I get a chance, I try to include the victim's name. Now I'm going to include Alfred, the victim who you see in the thumbnail for this live stream. I'm going to also save a lot of the videos. I'm going to try to avoid videos because YouTube, I don't know what's going on. It takes a very long time to upload videos now for whatever reason. I hope it's just a temporary thing. But videos that I've tried to upload that are like 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, like 15 minutes long, YouTube telling me it's going to take like an hour and a half, close to 2 hours to upload it. I'm telling you, I never had to deal with this. This has never happened. This started maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I made a post about it, and obviously I'm not, other people, there are some other content creators who doing worse than that. K-None responded, said, sometimes take him several hours to upload a video that's only 10 minutes long. So YouTube, I don't know what y'all doing, what y'all got going on, but y'all need to step that up. Because I'm, not even motivated to upload content. It's taking that long. But I digress. This story surfaced yesterday. They titled it Boy, 2-year-old boy, lucky to be alive after bully dog attack. Now, people, this took place on Halloween night. And this is what I don't like about the media. They seem to put in effort to not report dog attacks, if you ask me, especially around Halloween, because people like to look at Halloween as a happy time for kids, which is what it's supposed to be. But I give you my advice. On Halloween should be a dog-hating holiday. If y'all want to celebrate holiday, it should be also a dog-hating holiday where everybody puts forth an effort to make sure that dogs are not involved in Halloween at all. Keep them, go lock those parasites in the basement somewhere. All day. Okay? All day. They should not be allowed to interact with youngsters. Because understand, and nobody should have to tell you this, you adults. Those dogs are going to see on that night far more youngsters than they're accustomed to. And their desire to attack youngsters is going to be much higher on that night. This needs to be an anti-dog holiday. Many of the victims, like I put in the thumbnail, who have been attacked when they were 2 years old, like this victim, they're going to grow up and they're going to find my videos. They're going to find my videos. And hopefully by that time I'll have 40, 50, some thousand subscribers, and I'm going to start interviewing these victims. If not an actual interview, I'm going to talk to them. I don't care if it's via email. And I'm going to ask the real questions that these degenerate journalists should have asked them. Like, were you ever nervous with your parents forcing you to live with dogs? Did they force you to continue to go around dogs after you were attacked? I'm telling you, and these discussions are going to get dark, people. They're going to get dark, and they're going to reveal just how degenerate these households are. And we know this goes on because we caught several of them who would confess and say, yes, we are trying to get my young dog attack victim to go around dogs again, to love dogs again, which is insane. That is so insane. I honestly cannot put it into words. So this was another Halloween attack. Mother said her 2-year-old son was lucky to be alive after he was attacked by a pocket bully. She and 4 other adults were knocking on doors in Bexhill on Halloween. Okay, I think this is UK. This is in the UK. When a dog ran out and bit her son Alfred's face. So, on Halloween night, just like they do here in the United States, they had the dog in the living room. Had the dog where it could see people and people could see it. No. Everybody, for the sake of the kids on Halloween night, needs to be a dog hater that night. It's not the dog's night. We're not celebrating no stupid dog. Forget about getting a dog costume. Every aspect of dog culture becomes dangerous for everybody in the community, primarily youngsters. And it shouldn't be tolerated, period. We need to develop a culture of safety, period. Look at the injuries that this 2-year-old sustained in a few seconds' time. He was left with a broken jaw. I mean, think about that. You break a 2-year-old's jaw. The whole country should be outraged at stuff like this. If the dog didn't do it, you tell me what else would do this. Go ahead and tell me. Take your time. Nothing. That's what, nothing. And this is routine for these beasts. People want to wag their finger. Oh, HD, your hate for dogs, hate for dogs. Yeah. My hate for dogs is based and fueled by desired safety for us. What is your problem? A 2-year-old with a broken jaw. And people, y'all don't understand how vicious these attacks are. When their jaw is broken, it's usually because that dog has punctured his teeth, got his teeth, and it dislocates the jaw, pulls it right out the socket. The dog knocked some of his teeth out, broke his jaw, knocked some of his teeth out. Why don't these dog lovers reflect on the torture? Oh yeah, let's ask that question. Why don't they reflect on the torture? Because understand, dog lovers project themselves as extremely anti-torture when it comes to dogs. Every time a dog is put down, they religiously point out that it was put down humanely, that it didn't suffer. But when their own young is attacked, they never reflect on the fact that every time they suffer, they're tortured. They don't care. When their own offspring is tortured, they don't care. They're only touched. Oh, the dog felt pain. It felt pain. Oh, I can't imagine what it must have went through. You only act humane when it comes to the dog. You're backwards. Exactly like a brood parasite. Dogs represent themselves as parasites to humans in so many ways. It's hard to articulate it, honestly. Just always stay mindful of how they exist alongside us. They are parasites, and they are the most dangerous parasites on earth. Fact. That is a fact. Now, nobody likes parasites. These are the most dangerous, so they should be the most despised. This 2-year-old had 50, and again, 2 years old, not between age 5 and 9. Speaking of 5 and 9, I'm going to have to touch on that. I'm still learning about this situation. Now, I've heard about the situation in Palestine and Gaza for a long time, but I didn't know the primary victims were between ages 5 and 9. How's that even possible? And these are victims who are deliberately targeted, meaning these soldiers are pointing the guns at the victims between age 5 and 9. How is that possible? How is that possible? It sounds to me like some funny business is going on behind the scenes. Some funny, sick, demonic business that involves some form of sacrifice, and it's sick. But I'll get into that on a different live stream. This boy was 2 years old, and between age 0 and 4, that is the second most attacked demographic. The most attacked is 13 and under. Okay, excuse me, between age 5 and 9, but also 13 and under. But the second most attacked demographic is age 0 to 4. I'll point out several times that at different points in history and in different parts of the country, those between age 0 and 4 are the number one attack demographic as I speak in many areas, which tells all of us what? That dogs prefer to attack you when you're very small and vulnerable, helpless. The more capable you are of fighting off attack, the less likely they are to attack you. But nobody's off limits, not even grown men. Also suffered deep lacerations on his cheek and neck. Absolutely traumatized. Now, this is what I wanted to touch on. His mother is now calling for a law to require the owners of certain dog breeds to display a sign outside of their house to warn people. No. What type of solution is that? You out trick-or-treating. You see a sign that says, beware of dog or whatever. And you decide, I'm not going to go to that house. Thanks for hanging up the sign. And you walk past that house, and then guess what? The dog comes out of the house, runs, tracks you down, and attacks you. Some good that sign did, huh? No, I'm not talking about no sign, putting up no stupid sign. Get that thing out the community. That's the one and only solution. I don't like to talk about how much less smoke or a problem I have with certain. I don't like to separate dog lovers, but the fact is, you have to. And in all honesty, I'm much more tolerant of owners of very small dogs. If forced to the wall and I had to choose, I would pick the owners of small dogs, very small dogs, as neighbors. If I had to choose what type of neighbors I prefer to be around. I'm not going to choose to be around a bunch of owners of bully breeds and cane corsos, all this nonsense. These nutters go on and on about how any dog can attack. Oh, they're all equally dangerous. Dog lovers, y'all got to snap out of this. Snap out of it. Stop talking crazy. There is a difference. But look, I have to tilt my hat. She sounds like she might start to be waking up out of the dog trance. But she asked for a law for people to have a sign, require the owners to have a sign if you own certain dog breeds, to display a sign outside their house to warn people. She also wants to raise awareness about what people can do in the event of a dog attack. No, ma'am. That type of information has been made public forever. So has these signs. For at least the past 2 decades, all types of experts and whatnot have been putting this stuff out there. Even top-notch, popular trainers like Caesar and these other extremely popular dog people on YouTube who get millions and millions of views. They've all covered this nonsense. Be a tree. Don't run. Look up. All this nonsense. None of it works. None of it works. Your 2-year-old is under attack by a dog. Ain't nothing you can do. You're not going to negotiate your way out of that. You're not going to play a rock. You're not going to be a tree. The only solution is to make sure that thing is not there. And if it's going to be there, and especially on Halloween night, you need to be prepared. You need to be well prepared. That's just what it is. Outside of our front doors is the battlefield. We need to look at it like that. It's the battlefield. All of a sudden, this is a direct quote, all of a sudden, there was a horrendous growl. And this dog came running and pounced on Alfred. Alfred is the 2-year-old. She said it pinned him to the floor. The children went running. They were screaming. Real horror on Halloween night. Alfred's father and another man in the group managed to pry the dog's jaws open and save the youngster. Now, brace yourself. These injuries are, he has a lot of swelling. That comes from that nasty saliva. The infection. Horrible. Now, understand. That's why I made the thumbnail like I did. This is going to traumatize all these young victims. It's going to traumatize them. And I believe many of them are going to be open to share their story and thoughts once they grow up. Because those are questions that I desperately want to ask. What happened after this? What did your mother tell you? How did your parents tell you to look at dogs after this happened? Did you have any independent decisions or perspectives that you generated for dogs after this happened? How did you view them before this happened? Because these are the number one victims of propaganda, youngsters. They're the number one victims of propaganda. We as adults, we don't have to sit in no room and have a bunch of nutters bring a dog in and force us to interact and touch and rub on that thing. They are targets and victims of propaganda, and most people don't reflect on this. Most people don't reflect on this. We need to stay more mindful of this. She described this dog as a pocket bully. And that only means that it's more mutated. Man, there's so much to talk about. And I haven't had the time. And I'm going to do a stream on this. These nutters are so... Y'all need help, man. I don't understand why your pride doesn't stop you from being a dog lover. Y'all remember I shared a article where they said that those French bulldogs go for like $15,000. So what does that mean? And what other product do you pay more money when it has more defects? On what world do you pay more money for a car that has a bad engine, a bad transmission, right? It has all kinds of defects. What type of imbecile pays more for that? Do you really want to pay more money for items that broken, rusted, and can't operate properly? But that's exactly what goes on in dog culture. Y'all pay more money for the dogs that have more deformities, that require more medical attention, that are going to be at the vet more often. You're going to be dumping even more on it because they're so mutated and deformed. Y'all really okay with being played like that? Where's your honor? Where's your dignity? You have no pride. Y'all okay with being hustled and conned like that? Oh, French bulldog. Oh, it looks so deformed. That's why it costs more money. Here, take my money. What? So much to talk about. Y'all need to snap out of it. The UK government made it a criminal offense to possess a Bully XL without a certificate of exemption, which is crazy, and it hasn't helped that country. So hopefully this young man, along with others, eventually turn against these mutants. Hopefully these types of experiences encourage them to become dog culture critics in the future. We had this guy who seems to be coming to his senses. We got people all over the earth. And again, I have to reflect on stories like this. I cannot only reflect on negative stories. People are waking up. Refer to a video, a compilation, a real good compilation put together by K Nunn. This article surfaced 23 hours ago, titled, "He's Not Going to Christmas with His Girlfriend's Family Since Her Mom's Pit Bull Attacked Him Last Year." Good for you. Good for you. Shouldn't have went the first time. You want to get to the point where you don't even give these mutants the first chance. Don't trust them. Who are they to trust? All of us have the right to not trust any of them. Can't communicate with them. There's no way to gauge their mentality. And we all know that they'll snap for nothing. And the story behind this is crazy and typical of dogs. They hate to reflect on how deranged these things are. But look at this. His girlfriend's mother adopted a pit bull with a questionable history that they've had for several years. The dog used to be named, but his girlfriends renamed him. I don't know why they're sharing this. When they have weird backstories, while his girlfriend's family, he did everything possible to stay out of the dog's way and not anger it, okay, when he was around the dog. Okay, here's the scenario right before the attack. Listen to this. Winston received, I don't like you. That's the dog. The dog received the bone for Christmas, and it was biting on the bone on Christmas Eve as the rest of the family played board games. So this was a very relaxed and chill atmosphere. Maybe a few laughs, giggles. We've all been there. We love when somebody pulls out a game of Life or Scrabble. Everything was fine, he says. Absolutely tranquil. Picturesque Christmas Eve vibes. He said everyone was sitting down and the dog was faced into the corner, gnawing on its bone. Just picture this scenario in your head. Is this the type of scenario where a dog should be triggered? Dog defenders always like to point at something that could have set the dog off. Oh, you moved too fast. Oh, you made a sudden noise. And not here. And that never happens. Dog was facing a corner. And then a low growl came from the dog, who was staring at the wall. The dog was staring at the wall and let out a growl. People, here comes the mutant anger coming. It comes from nowhere because it's naturally inside of them. It's natural. This is what they were bred for. You see, gnawing on that bone, like I said, these nutters look at that as play. These are not toddlers playing. But that's how they look at them. Oh, sweet doggy playing with a bone. No. It's sharpening its killing skills. Chewing on that bone, wishing that the bone was a living organism. And this dog got tired of chewing on a lifeless bone. So it stopped staring at the wall and turned around and scanned the room. It looked at the brother. It looked at the mom. It looked at the girlfriend. And then when it set its eyes on him, it snapped. Full on junkyard dog attack mode. Screaming, barking, and lunging at me. I believe it. And this is what they do. That's why they don't deserve respect. They don't deserve love. They don't deserve to be fed. They don't deserve to be adopted. Creatures like that only deserve to be euthanized. And that's what should be done right now. That's what y'all doing anyways. Would they euthanize some over a million, about 1 million dogs every year here in the United States? It might be more. Check me on it. It has to be more. They euthanize well over 1 million dogs each and every year already. And they've been doing this for decades. As I point out many times, they've already euthanized more dogs than the current dog population. Meaning, y'all are the one just slaughtering these things. Okay? It would be far more humane to euthanize the entire population and put an end to yearly euthanization. Wasting our money and resources anyway, now we can use it towards something else. Especially at a time like now, economy is horrible, inflation. Stop wasting our resources on these pieces of trash. This deranged. They don't need nothing to provoke them. And I can't believe people fell for these con artists telling them that you always have to do something. The dogs never attack for no reason. There's always a reason why. Yeah, the reason is because they were bred for it and they're just bloodthirsty. That's the reason. Smut just turned around and launched attacks. The victim had to jump on the couch. Luckily he avoided being attacked. The brother came and, kind of restrained the dog. His girlfriend, and well as himself, tried to revive the Christmas spirit because this dog ruined Christmas. And in his own words, said, "I really tried to revive the Christmas spirit by having Christmas at our hotel, but her mom is not having it." Wow. It seemed like she was resolved that this ruined Christmas. She insisted on handing off her presents to us in the parking lot. She didn't accompany us to her sister's house to celebrate with them either as a last minute option. So you can see why he has no interest in celebrating Christmas with them again this year. Instead of being sympathetic, his girlfriend's mom promised she's worked hard to get the dog trained and even has a shock collar. So this is one of those dog owners who refuses to even put the dog away. So like that guy who trapped me in his house and then released his dog. He made a promise to me to put the dogs away when I came in, and when I got in there, he released them. Don't trust dog lovers like that. They hate to have to they don't want to have to put their dog away because they view it as a human, as a baby, as a child. And they don't want to, treat their kids like that. His girlfriend's mom tried to get him to come over to see the dog just a month after. Can y'all? A month after this happened, the mother invited him over. Oh, why don't you come see the doggy that tried to attack you, that snapped out of nowhere for no reason? He's much better now. Yeah, this is why you avoid these people. This is the worst possible friend you could possibly have. And this is not a real friend. They're not concerned about your safety at all. And this man does not want to have Christmas with his girlfriend's mom at all. Good for you. Good for you. Now, look at this next sentence. I hope y'all can see this, and I'm not babbling with the wrong screen up. Look at this. I couldn't believe this. He doesn't want to have Christmas with his girlfriend's mother at all, as he's afraid this woman will put the dog away and then release him in an effort to prove something, and he will end up injured in the process. Smart man. If only I had thought like this, I would have refused to go in that guy's house. Smart man. It makes you wonder, are you listening? Right? He's afraid that she's going to say, hey, yeah, I'll put him away. And then when he gets in the house, oh, it's time to release. Oh, let's show him that you've changed, that you're a different dog now. Very smart. He and his girlfriend have suggested sending the dog to a boarding kennel for holiday season. Send it away, out the house. But her mom's not going for it, arguing that the dog is a family member. Arguing that the dog is a family member who should spend Christmas with all of them. Oh, God. It don't get no worse than calling a parasite a family member. You can't get no worse than that. A parasite is also a child predator, a bloodthirsty, violent beast. What is wrong with you? Family member. Boy, these people are so brainwashed. You got to give it up to dog culture. What an effective brainwashing mechanism they got going on. On top of these things being parasites, they are parasites flat out. That's just a fact. They've suggested having Christmas in a different location, a different house, and she's having none of it. Listen how this is insane. The way these people think is insane. Says I really don't know what to do. I don't want to be in the same room as that dog ever again. I cross the street if I see pit bulls on leashes now. Good man. Smart man. Good. Okay? That's a step forward. Even if you're okay with, like other dog breeds, maybe Labradors. Maybe you don't cross the street when you see a Labrador. Okay. But at least you cross the street when you see bully breeds. His girlfriend is caught in the middle. And while her mom is lovely, no, she's not lovely. She is out of her mind. She's insane. She's a psychopath. She's not lovely. She's sick. She needs help. And he can't believe she won't do what it takes to make him feel comfortable for the holidays. She puts the dog first. The dog, and this is overt, the dog is better than you, more important than you. Now, if they will do this with full adults, why wouldn't they do this inside of their homes with their kids? I'm telling you, they do. In every home where there's dogs and kids, those kids are being abused. Every single home, they are under constant abuse and threat, which is why they are the most attacked demographic. That's why dogs attack them more than they attack anybody else. So good for this guy. Again, this went down on Reddit. Like I said, there's just an ocean full of information on Reddit. Very few people are the types of people to produce content, so they go over to these different forums. Pitbull attack leaves schoolgirl scarred for life as mother calls for Pitbull to be destroyed. I went over this with the members. This is another case of an attack, an unprovoked attack as always. And this happened when she was visiting a friend's home. She was on a play date at her friend's house. And her friend owned a dog. No friends with dogs. See, this is proper parenting. Proper parenting is, does her friend have a dog? Yes. Okay, well, you can't go over there. No, sorry. You can't go over people's homes where there are dogs there. That's proper parenting. You know what a bad parent does? Allows them to go over there. And then stuff like this happens. No matter how you slice it, good parents keep dogs away from their kids. We got the evidence to prove it's a bad idea to have dogs around people, period. But especially young people. These dog lovers, they desperately want to condemn dog culture critics. And it tickles me because I know and they know that they can't. You all know that you're in the wrong, embracing the presence, the existence of these things in our society. Now, some of you remember this case, and this is kind of crazy, where a lady was under attack. Familiar scenario, people walking, mind their business, and here comes a dog launching an unprovoked attack, as always. And y'all remember a couple guys who were riding bikes saw it. They saw the dogs launch an attack on this lady, and they decided to help her. Right? And they would use their bike. They used their bikes to shield the dogs as the lady tried to get into her home. And she was screaming help as she was trying to unlock the door. So they had successfully made themselves a barrier between her and the dog using their bikes. Now, again, I believe it sounds like they had their back to her because they had to be looking at the dog in order to be able to shield it, and keep it away using their bikes. They can't be facing her. They had the backs to her. And her boyfriend opened the door and just started firing, shot and killed the men that were trying to save her from that dog. Shot and killed him. This guy just opened the door and started firing away. And here recently, November 13th, 2 days ago, they released the 911 call. And I want y'all to hear, this is what dogs, you heard what dogs do to family gatherings, to Christmas. You just got an example of how they ruin Christmas, holidays, any and all family gatherings. Also reflect on the Halloween fiasco, and they had to have a second chance Halloween party, right? Dogs destroy everything. Anytime people want to get together and have peaceful interactions, dogs ruin everything. They ruin everything. They're horrible for society. Stop projecting these things as positive in any way at all. Just stop it.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, at 5. I'm Ann McGill.
And I'm Raphael James. Tonight we're getting new insight into what happened in the moments leading up to and after a Good Samaritan was tragically shot and killed while trying to help a woman who's being attacked by a dog in Somerville.
Live 5's Katie Cameron breaks down that heartbreaking 911 call and brings us the latest on this case.
Newly released 911 calls are providing a glimpse into the heart-wrenching moments after Somerville police say a 52-year-old man was shot and killed trying to save a woman from a pit bull that was attacking her. Just a warning, some of this audio is hard to listen to.
He shot like 5 or 6 times. Oh, we were just helping the damn. Oh my God, Tony!
According to a police report, 2 men were riding their bicycles in the Lakes at Somerville subdivision on October 12th when they heard a woman screaming for help that a dog was trying to attack her while she was taking her small dog on a walk. The 2 men tried to keep the dog away from the woman as she unlocked the door to her house. Police say she was yelling for help when her boyfriend opened the door and started shooting, hitting and killing one of the men who was just trying to save her.
The dog tried to run up in the house, and my friend went up with his bike to block the dog, and the dude came out the house and started shooting.
Now you hear that scenario.
And my friend went up.
The dog tried running up in the house, and my friend went up with his bike to block the dog. Block the dog. So, wow. He shouldn't have done that. That's what it is. That's what stuff like this proves. It makes you not want to help people. You see somebody under attack, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Up with his bike to block the dog, and the dude came out the house and started shooting. I think he thought his girl was being attacked or whatever by my friend, but he was saving her.
According to the Charleston County coroner, it was Paul Tony Malfris who was shot and killed. Police say he died on scene. These 911 calls are revealing the tense and painful moments before police arrived.
He just came out shooting everywhere.
Oh, no. No. All right, stop the bleeding.
30-year-old Adonis Malone is now facing involuntary manslaughter and gun possession charges.
You just open the door and start firing, you coward. Boy, these little scary dudes are so annoying to me. So annoying. You just, no questions asked. You don't ask your girl what's wrong. Nothing. You just scared to death, probably high out your mind. What? On meth, probably on all types of drugs. Open the door firing. A little scary behind. Wow, it's a horrible story. And it all started from these dogs. He would have been a high dope head sitting up in his house, just high, were it not for these dogs. Because his girl would not have been under attack. You'd have just had a peaceful day of a woman walking home, 2 men riding their bike, and a high dude, a scary little high dude sitting up in the house. The source of the problem is dogs, dogs, dogs. They're horrible for society. Euthanize them all. They're more than deserving of it. The president, the new president, Donald Trump, that is my request. That's my request to our new president, who seems to be aware of how horrible and disgusting and despicable these things are. Make the call. Get rid of them all. But at the very least, Mr. President, bully breeds you know full well need to go. They need to go. They are the culprits in almost every report shared. And understand, people, if a Labrador seriously hurt somebody, right? A Doberman or a Husky seriously hurt somebody, it will get reported just like these attacks get reported. What we're dealing with here is just bully breeds being the primary problems. And they need to go. Again, I never suggest that people break the law. I'm saying that this should come from the very top, from the presidents, prime ministers, and everybody should get on board. Canada, South America, Mexico, all over the world. This needs to be a global extermination. And for as long as the extermination process is underway, we should have daily parties celebrating every step forward towards an evolved planet. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this live stream. And I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.